The first SUV on this list is solid. But the last one? That thing is basically allergic to braking. Consumer Reports just dropped their latest reliability scores, and somehow 9 SUVs scored insanely high. Like, why won't this thing die? High. Today on the Car Geek, we're counting them down. From pretty safe bet to this thing might outlive you. Let's get into it. Toyota Crown Signia. Starting us off is the Toyota Crown Signia with a 77. This is basically Toyota saying, what if we made a luxury SUV, but still acted responsible about it? It runs their 5th-gen hybrid system. Smooth, quiet, almost feels electric around town, like you're gliding instead of driving. Build quality? Super tight. Built in Japan, everything feels solid. No rattles, no weird noises, nothing falling apart like a cheap IKEA desk. But Toyota made some questionable life choices here. No spare tire, limited storage. And if you're over 6'2", congrats. Your head is now part of the roof design. It's comfortable, refined, and reliable. Just not the most practical. And if you think that's a weird mix, the next one is way more familiar, but comes with a debate that people take way too seriously. Toyota RAV4. Tied with the same score, we've got the Toyota RAV4. Yeah, that RAV4. This thing is basically the Honda Civic of SUVs. It's everywhere. It never dies. And somehow your neighbor, your cousin, and your Uber driver all have one. Now here's the situation. The current generation has been around for a while, and you can feel it. Not in a this is bad way, more like a this used to be cutting edge kind of way. Reliability, still rock solid. Fuel economy, great, especially on the hybrid, easily around 40 miles per gallon in real-world driving. But the big debate, gas versus hybrid. Old school logic says gas is simpler, less to go wrong. But the hybrid, no belts, no traditional transmission. That eCVT is basically built to just exist forever. The only real drama has been something owners call cablegate, corrosion on high-voltage cables. Sounds scary, looks expensive. Toyota has already updated the design, so newer models are way less effective. Interior? It's fine. Not luxury, not exciting. It does the job. Like a pair of sneakers you forgot you've had for 5 years. The RAV4 isn't trying to impress anyone anymore. It already did that years ago. Now it's just showing up, doing its job, and refusing to retire. And honestly, respect. But if you think that's dependable, the next SUV is even simpler. Like bare minimum effort, maximum survival rate. Lexus RX. Now, we step into the I want reliability, but also heated everything category. The Lexus RX with an 84. And this one is interesting, because owning it feels like two completely different experiences depending on how you use it. First, the good stuff. The RX is ridiculously comfortable. Smooth ride, quiet cabin, everything feels insulated from the outside world, like you're driving inside a very expensive noise-canceling headphone. Long-distance drivers love this thing because mechanically, it just works. No drama, no surprises, no check engine light just for fun. Resale value, also strong, because people trust it. Now, the weird part. The 12-volt battery. Yeah, not the big hybrid battery, the small one. Especially on hybrid models, it can drain if you don't drive the car often. Short trips, sitting too long, suddenly the car just says, nope. Nothing humbles you faster than a luxury SUV that won't start in a grocery store parking lot. Also, Lexus moved from the old V6 to a turbocharged 2.4-liter 4-cylinder. And look, it's efficient, it's capable. But longtime Lexus owners notice the difference. A little more noise, a little more vibration. It's like your favorite restaurant changed the recipe slightly. Still good, but you know something's different. Lexus even released fixes to smooth things out, so it's not a deal breaker. Just something to know. Fuel economy is solid for the class, especially on the hybrid. Comfort is top tier. Reliability is still classic Lexus. Just drive it regularly. This is not a leave it parked for a week and forget about it kind of luxury. Now, if that felt a little too refined, the next SUV is going in the complete opposite direction. Less luxury lounge, more built like it's ready for the apocalypse. Toyota 4Runner. All right, now we go full, this thing drinks mud for breakfast. The Toyota 4Runner with a 95. Yeah, 95 on a brand new generation. That's not normal. This is the SUV equivalent of that one guy who shows up to the gym on day one already in shape. Now, big change here. Toyota ditched the old 4.0-liter V6, RIP legend, and replaced it with a 2.4-liter turbocharged engine. And I know, some people are already nervous. Turbo? In a 4Runner? Sounds like betrayal. But Toyota claims this thing was tested to industrial-level durability, not daily driver standards. More like, we expect you to abuse this standards. And honestly, early data is backing that up. It's built in Japan at the Tahara plant, which is basically the automotive version of a clean room. We're talking obsessive levels of quality control. Like if a bolt is slightly off, someone probably apologizes to it. The new platform is a fully boxed ladder frame. Stronger, more rigid, better corrosion resistance. Basically tougher in every measurable way. And if you go for the hybrid, the iForce Max setup, you're getting around 460 pound-feet of torque. That's not fuel-saver hybrid. That's tow your friend's bad decisions out of a ditch hybrid. Fuel economy? Better than before, but let's be honest. Nobody buys a 4Runner to save gas. If that's your goal, you took a wrong turn somewhere. Ride quality is improved, tech is more modern, and somehow Toyota managed to keep the rugged personality without making it feel outdated. And here's the key. This thing doesn't just feel tough, it is tough. A 95 means Consumer Reports basically looked at it and said, yeah, we tried, it won't break. Now, if that impressed you, the next one is going to feel completely different. Because instead of brute strength, it wins by being ridiculously well-balanced and a little bit underrated. Porsche Macan. All right, time for the plot twist. The Porsche Macan at 84. Yes, a Porsche. On a reliability list. Take a second, I'll wait. Here's why. Porsche has been refining this thing for years. Same platform, constant improvements, no wild experiments. They basically treated it like a science project they actually cared about. Build quality? Excellent. Materials feel premium, everything is tight, no weird rattles developing over time like you sometimes see in other luxury SUVs. And driving it? Yeah. This is where it reminds you it's still a Porsche. Sharp handling, responsive, doesn't feel like a big heavy blob going around corners. But, and this is a big but, reliable does not mean cheap. After around 40,000 miles, little things start showing up. Oil seepage here, bushings wearing out there, transmission doing a slight clunk when switching gears. Nothing catastrophic, it's not going to strand you on the side of the road crying, but your wallet? Yeah, it's going to feel it. We're talking repair bills in the $800 to $1,500 range, casually, like it's just part of the ownership experience. This is the kind of car where everything works great. It just costs money to keep it that way. Fuel economy is okay for a performance SUV, not amazing. But again, if you're buying a Macan to save gas, we need to have a different conversation. So here's the deal. The Macan is reliable in the sense that it won't betray you. It just expects financial respect in return. Now, if that felt a little too expensive to maintain, the next SUV brings things back down to earth. Same idea of refinement, just without the, why is this repair bill higher than my rent? Energy. Honda Passport. Now we're getting serious. The Honda Passport with a ridiculous 97. Yeah, 97. That's not a score, that's a warning to other SUVs. This thing wins with a very simple strategy. Don't overcomplicate anything. Under the hood, you've got a 3.5-liter V6 paired with a 10-speed automatic. No turbo drama, no hybrid complexity, no software update required to start the engine. Just a powertrain Honda has been refining for decades, and it shows. This engine-transmission combo feels smooth, predictable, and, most importantly, proven. Like it's been through every possible scenario already and just shrugs at new ones. Built in Alabama, where Honda has been pumping out V6 vehicles since forever, over 6.5 million units, this isn't a new experiment. This is muscle memory. Interior space? Excellent. Tons of cargo room, comfortable seating, and that slightly rugged feel, especially in the trail sport trim. That makes you think, yeah, I could go off-road, even if you're just going to Costco. Fuel economy is decent for a V6 mid-size SUV, not groundbreaking, but fair. Again, this isn't trying to be the most efficient. It's trying to be the most dependable. Now, it's not perfect. The 10-speed transmission can get a little confused at low speeds. Sometimes it hunts for gears, sometimes there's a slight shudder. Nothing major, just small quirks. But here's the important part. None of it is serious. None of it leaves you stranded. It's more like the car having a brief moment of indecision. A 97 means Consumer Reports basically couldn't find anything meaningful to complain about. And that almost never happens. This is one of those SUVs that just works. Day after day, year after year, no drama. And if this is number 4, yeah, the top 3 are about to get very interesting. Because now we're getting into vehicles that don't just work. They've been quietly perfecting the formula for years. Subaru Crosstrek. All right, back to something a little more personality-driven. The Subaru Crosstrek with a 78. Yeah, we already talked about low maintenance versus high maintenance energy. And this one, still the same story. The Crosstrek is basically that friend who's super loyal, but only if you remember their birthday, text them back, and show up on time. Take care of it and it'll go forever. Ignore it. And suddenly everything gets expensive. The big topic here is still the CVT. Subaru calls the fluid lifetime, but owners and mechanics are like, yeah, don't believe that. Change it every 30 to 36,000 miles, and this thing will stay smooth well past 150,000. Skip that? You're gambling. The 2026 model, especially the Wilderness trim, adds a CVT cooler, which is a real upgrade. Basically helps keep things from overheating when you actually use the car the way Subaru marketing thinks you do. And speaking of that, the all-wheel drive system is still one of the best out there. Snow, dirt, rain, this thing handles it like it's just another Tuesday. Now, the infotainment. Still not great. That big screen looks modern, but using it feels like your phone after dropping it one too many times. Laggy, sometimes confusing, and way too many taps for simple things. Interior? Solid, durable, not fancy. It's built for people who wear hiking boots more than dress shoes. Fuel economy is decent, especially considering it's always sending power to all 4 wheels. And here's the thing, despite its quirks, people love it. A huge percentage of owners would buy it again. Because once you understand how it works really well. Now, if that one felt like it required a little too much commitment, the next SUV is the exact opposite. Like, just exist and it'll survive levels of easy. And yeah, that's a dangerous level of reliability. Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid coming in at number 2, and yeah, this one sneaks up on you, is the Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid with a 79. Now I know what you're thinking. Wait, this over some of the others? Yeah, because this thing mastered the art of doing just enough perfectly. This is peak, I don't want problems engineering. The hybrid system here is classic Toyota, smooth, efficient, and borderline unkillable. Real-world fuel economy, around 45 to 49 miles per gallon. For an SUV, that's the kind of number that makes gas stations feel like optional side quests. Driving it is surprisingly pleasant too. It's quiet, smooth, and doesn't feel like it's constantly struggling. Unlike the gas version, which sounds like it's writing a complaint letter every time you accelerate. The eCVT transmission? No belts, no clutches, just simple, proven design, which is why these things tend to last forever with basic maintenance. But let's keep it real. This is not a fun car. Nobody has ever gotten out of a Corolla Cross Hybrid and said, wow, that was thrilling. This is the automotive equivalent of meal prepping. Smart, efficient, not exciting. There are still a couple of quirks. The 12-volt battery can be a little sensitive if you don't drive often. Let it sit too long, and it might decide to take a nap without telling you. And some of the build choices feel a little budget conscious, like certain trim pieces and small details that remind you this is built to a price. Interior is simple, clean, functional. No drama. Everything works, nothing confuses you. And honestly, that's the whole point. This car isn't trying to impress you. It's trying to make sure you never have to think about your car again. And for a lot of people, that's luxury. Now, if this one feels like the definition of safe choice, the number 1 SUV on this list, that one didn't just play it safe. It basically broke the scale. Mazda CX-5. And finally, number 1. Yeah, not what you expected, right? The Mazda CX-5 comes in at 84 and somehow ends up being the most complete package on this list. Here's why. While everyone else was chasing trends, bigger screens, more complexity, turbo everything, hybrid everything, Mazda just kept refining the same formula, like they were quietly studying for a test nobody else knew about. 2.5-liter naturally aspirated engine. 6-speed automatic. No weird experiments. And guess what? It works. Really well. This setup is smooth, predictable, and doesn't feel like it's trying to outsmart you. It just drives like a normal, well-tuned car, which in 2025 feels almost rebellious. Fuel economy is solid for the class. Not class-leading, but balanced. You're not sacrificing reliability for efficiency here. Ride quality? This is where it shines. The 2025 model finally hits that sweet spot. Comfortable without being floaty, controlled without being harsh. It feels dialed in. Like Mazda spent years going, almost, okay, now it's perfect. Interior? Still one of the best in its class. Soft touch materials, clean layout, nothing over-designed. It feels premium without trying too hard, like someone who's stylish without needing designer logos everywhere. And unlike a lot of competitors, it doesn't age badly. No glitchy tech ruining the experience. No overcomplicated systems waiting to break. Just solid engineering doing its job. Is it the flashiest SUV here? No. Is it the most powerful? Also no. But it might be the one that makes the most sense. And sometimes, that's exactly why it wins. So there you have it. 9 SUVs that may. Consumer Report says are about as close to perfect as you can get. A few surprises, right? A Porsche behaving itself. A 4Runner evolving without falling apart. And somehow, the simplest options still dominating. If you made it this far, drop a like. It helps more than you think. And send this video to that friend who says, all cars are the same. Yeah, they need this. This is the Car Geek, and I'll see you in the next one.